I'm Rich.
I'm Othello.
I'm Aaron.
I'm John.
And of course, we're missing Jelly. And by our fandoms combined, we're Fandom United. So we're going to have a little bit of a hodgepodge show because we missed last week. And so there's been a lot of things that happened. And so much for us to talk about that we won't have time to get to everything, but we're going to try. So let's start with Marvel because...
we obviously love Marvel.
Is there something going on with Marvel?
Nothing.
All day, every day.
Every day, yeah.
I don't know.
There's
how
something.
How many times on this show have I said the one thing I have always wanted is a Moon Knight show? How many times? I wish we could go back and count it. For all the years we've been doing this show and others, I've said I wanted a Moon Knight show, and I'm finally getting a Moon Knight show, and not done by Marvel Television, mind you. Getting done by Marvel Studios.
Hallelujah.
Right?
Okay. So I am excited
Super
for
excited.
Moon Knight. I am excited, but it's on Disney Plus. You're not gonna get the good
Yeah, there is
R-rated Moon Knight because they're gonna boil it down to make it as PG-13 as possible.
But you
So they didn't get Keanu, right?
No.
I know.
Why
They said Keanu's too old.
between that and the PG-13, would you please not crap in my cornflakes right now? I'm just trying to enjoy this moment. At least I get it, and I'm hoping that I will make the sacrifice for PG-13 in the hopes that it reaches a broader audience. Maybe it helps that character's profile get raised, and maybe there's movie appearances on the back end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's something that they're building to, because I really do think that Kevin Feige doesn't do anything without a purpose. He doesn't just throw this stuff out there and see if it'll stick.
I love that part where Charlie Cox was in. Oh wait, no.
That wasn't Kevin Feige.
I know it wasn't. but
Stop it. That was Jeff
everyone
Lowe.
wanted to see those guys cross over. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Back to your.
Nope, you're
Doctor Strange said the
I'm
portal will
gonna
open any
that
minute,
big.
guys.
the portal opening.
But also the same thing with the whole vein of it being on Disney Plus. She-Hulk is going to be on that too.
She-Hulk and Miss Marvel.
But she's also a liberating woman. It's going to be PG-13 or PG on...
Yeah,
Isn't she kind of a naughty girl?
She
Yes.
is sexually liberated.
She-Hulk is very liberated. But one of the things I like about She-Hulk is see, you're gonna make me get into it. So some idiot. Oh God! Okay, my kids are gonna watch this, so I can't say all the words I want
I
to
got
use.
the timer. There we go.
Some idiot on CBR wrote an article saying that he felt they should change She-Hulk's origin to omit the Hulk giving her powers through a blood transfusion, so then that way she doesn't get her powers from a man.
She can't be She-Hulk.
Bruh,
then.
dying of fire. Okay, but seriously,
The Green Queen.
oh well. Only if she. You know what? There's so many things I want to say, and then there's so many questions I have to answer for my children after. Like, Dad, what does that mean if she starts out as a man? Don't worry about it. Just no. No, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's a terrible idea, and I think
It
one
is
of
a terrible idea.
Okay, we've had this discussion about tokenized characters before. Spider-Woman, Supergirl, She-Hulk is just a female version of a male character, and it's kind of stupid. She-Hulk is probably one of the only ones that's been done right, because they say, okay, she got her powers from a guy, she got her powers from Bruce, and now she's a completely different character. Mm-hmm. Supergirl is just Superman in a miniskirt. That's it. There's not a big difference between those characters. She-Hulk is so different from the Hulk because she retained her emotion, she retained her intellect, and she became her own character. It was just kind of like, okay, here's the Hulk, here's She-Hulk, and now, whoop, she's way over here and he's still on this trajectory. That character is so rich and so much better than the writer of the article gives her credit for. Mm-hmm. And it's obvious that this individual has never read an issue of She-Hulk in their lives. Because if you had, you wouldn't have said it. Because it's not... Her origin isn't important to her story other than the fact that is how she gets her powers.
He's just trying to come off as a woke individual.
And he can go back to sleep then.
Now, do you think Mark Ruffalo is going to be...
I hope so.
Popping up in
I
She-Hulk?
hope so. That would be the greatest. That would be a great first episode. Ruffalo shows up. This is my cousin Jen, because he's not hulking out right now.
Right.
It's my cousin Jen. Oh no,
he's
back.
gonna be Smart
He's back, but
Hulk.
he's Smart Hulk.
Be smart.
Yeah.
My cousin Jen. These bad guys show up. She gets hurt. We don't have time to wait for a doctor. She's bleeding out. I'm gonna give her a blood transfusion, and that positive gamma radiated blood. and then she's She-Hulk,
and because he's intellectual Hulk, maybe that's the reason why she doesn't Hulk out.
I think it was more. They said it's like maybe because it was diluted with her blood or whatever. For whatever reason, she remained her intelligence, but she also, she enjoyed being a woman. Let's just say that. And there's been a lot of one of my favorite conquests of She-Hulk was the Juggernaut. That's probably one of my favorites. But anyway.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
So that's two characters who obviously would do better as R-rated shows that they're gonna
But you don't have to do
boil-
She-Hulk R-rated.
You don't have to, but it'd be more interesting.
I think he just wants some.
Yeah, the creep show.
Yeah, there we go.
Dial it back.
Yeah, I'm like Moon Knight. Okay, I give you
Daredevil.
Moon Knight.
Your Bill show.
You can't do Daredevil. You can't do Daredevil PG-13. Would you be that interested? All right, PG-13 Daredevil is Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
you didn't see the extended version in because
It's still bad.
yeah, it was still bad. It was still bad.
It's still bad. Me and Ben Affleck aren't cool to this day over that movie. Well, that and he.
Come on, the town.
Part
Stop
of
it.
what
No,
made
we ain't cool
those
to
shows
this day.
good was
Stop it. No.
they
Fargo.
were able to go to the line that they needed it.
Armageddon.
Punisher. You can't boil down Punisher to PG-13.
No.
Part of what made those shows good was that there wasn't a line they had to toe to
That's
to
what they
make
tried
it
to do
interesting.
with Deadpool, though. Think about Once Upon a Deadpool, the Christmas re-release.
It was.
That
They
was
didn't
a
have the
test.
opportunity to do Once Upon a Deadpool without the R-rated
No, no,
Deadpool for people to be interested in.
That was a test.
I
That
don't
was a
think
test,
that
I
movie
think.
was scaled back enough that made it a bad movie.
It wasn't.
No, I think them taking Deadpool, which was a hard R movie.
So they're going to
And
skirt that line
taking-
as far
Yes.
as they can go.
I think them turning Deadpool into a PG-13 flick was just like you call a backdoor pilot. I think it was a backdoor move to see, can we
Oh, no
make
doubt.
Deadpool a PG-13 movie so we can keep. Either Disney was like, hey, make it PG-13 so we can see what we got, or Ryan Reynolds and those guys who were doing Deadpool, they were like, hey, let's show Disney to keep us around.
Oh,
We can do a PG-13 Deadpool and it's still fun. Which
I think that was a big part of it.
the Fred Savage
guys.
parts were the best part of that movie. The Princess Bride parts with Fred Savage and all, the best parts of that movie. Absolutely.
Might have been the best part of even Deadpool too.
Yeah.
Now I
They
believe
could even roll those into Deadpool 2, and I think the R-rated version, and it would still be the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
they said that to keep it from being rated R, it's usually sex that ends up taking it over that line.
And one F word.
Yeah.
You can do one F-bomb.
One.
You can't do more than
do
that. So, but like violence doesn't really, a lot of times that's not what
And
takes
blood.
it over the line.
Because you'll notice they CGI'd a lot of blood out.
Yeah.
A ton of blood. And there's quick cuts like when Deadpool is pulled apart by Juggernaut. The R-rated version of that is very visceral, lots of blood and squirting and pulling and rending. It's super quick on the PG-13 cut, and there's like no blood, and it's just like you see them going apart, and then it's a quick cut. You blink and you miss it. So there's stuff like that they tone down a great deal. I mean, I think about Moon Knight, going back to that, and I think, can PG-13 work? Yeah. Will I be happy with it? It's better than not having it.
True.
It's better than Marvel TV doing it.
It's definitely better than Marvel TV doing it.
Because as a Punisher fan, I can tell you, watching Dolph as Punisher was not better than not having a Punisher movie. Watching Thomas Jane,
That's different.
it was enjoyable, but it still wasn't Punisher.
That was Dolph, though.
Dolph, I love me some Dolph, but Dolph was not good.
Dolph is a very
No,
intelligent
yeah.
man, but
I don't even know that I can blame it on him. That
He
movie
does.
was not good.
He does.
no, because he wasn't a good He-Man either. So I guess that wasn't his fault either.
That wasn't his fault.
That was
Like-
not his. I would not put He-Man on him.
Yeah.
He was in it.
They
He was
oiled
in
him.
it, but man, if you look at like all the changes that they made happen during the middle of that, and this is something as a kid I hated He-Man. I mean, I'm a big fan of it now, but I can tell you back then.
if
that
you were
it was such a
watching-
convoluted story, and the fact that they
That
wrote
movie
him
was
on
bad.
Earth, there was
Yeah.
no part of Eternia, and
Exactly.
there was,
If you were watching a
was so
He-Man
far
movie, you
from
were
the source
watching it to
material.
see Castle Grayskull. You saw Castle
Hang on.
Grayskull for like a minute and a
Hang on,
half in that movie.
When I was a kid, the first thing that threw me off was the cape. I'm like, you gotta lose the cape, bro, because you look like Nuclear Man right now. I can't. I was like, I'm
For
waiting
the
on
kids, Nuclear Man was on Superman Part 4.
and which my children
The
will never
He-Man
see.
movie is
Superman
already
movies.
losing the
Yeah.
kids, so don't worry about that.
Oh, but hey, Courtney
That
Cox
came
is
out
in it. If
in
you watch
the
Friends,
80s.
if you watch Friends, Courtney Cox is in it.
Oh,
Before
yeah.
she was popular.
Before she was popular.
Yeah, she wasn't like the star in that movie. It's like,
Yeah, the only other thing she'd done at that point was that Bruce Springsteen video.
And Friday the 13th.
That was after.
What?
So you're
Well,
already
see,
losing them because
Hey, we're already losing because we're
like,
talking
we're
about
the 80s. That's like 30 years before most of these
You're
people
Asian.
watching this show.
so then there's also Miss Marvel. And John, you came up with an interesting point. You said that there's rumors that they're going to try to make Miss Marvel the new Spider-Man. that point of view character for the younger folks. I can already see you're not feeling it,
I'm woke and I'm not feeling it.
bro. Dude,
I'm super lib and I'm not feeling it.
Whose man's is this? Got this. Okay, why aren't you feeling Miss Marvel?
I think because even no matter if you man, woman, boy, child, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. I know I wasn't here that week. I know everybody's feeling on this is Sony, you screwed up Spider-Man twice already. Marvel has done it right. Not one time, not 2 times,
4 times?
4 times.
Yes.
And because they're also bringing up the production costs to split it as well as the finances to split it, you have to do the right thing and keep Spider-Man home. Miss Marvel is fairly still a new character, and we are loving her. She's also an Inhuman, which Marvel TV already
Marvel
screwed
TV
up on.
screwed that
We're
up.
gonna pretend that they're pretending that never happened. That has been completely nixed from the record.
So it's not canon. So it's like Star Wars Legend. So it's Marvel Legend now, minus the toys. Which
Yeah,
are awesome.
but if you kind of look at the MCU and the Marvel Studios cats, they don't treat the Marvel TV stuff like
they don't
it's
treat it like canon
anyway.
at all.
They're like, that didn't happen.
You can already see that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like a different timeline,
Yeah,
essentially. than...
When they first started and they were together before Disney parent company split the 2 studios up, you could see they always tried to do the movie tie-ins, and they always tried to do the movie tie-ins with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then after...
That made one of the best seasons, too, at
After
the
Age of
beginning,
Ultron,
when they did
that's when it stopped.
when they had to fight, when Hydra took over and they had to completely
Oh,
disband.
That was the year they stopped.
And then that was when they had the Civil War clip at the
Yeah.
end. And that was cool, right? But once they split, once Disney was like, okay, I'm sick of you both coming in my office and complaining to me. So, Kevin Feige, you take the movies, and Jeff Loeb, you take the TV, and both of y'all get out of my office. And may the best man win. And Kevin Feige's like, I'm about to print this money. Jeff Loeb hasn't done... I mean, you look at Marvel TV, and it's just kind of underwhelming. You got Cloak and Dagger, you have Runaways, you have... Give me a minute. I'm sure I'll come up with something else.
They don't exist and can't be
But-
used for another year.
Oh,
Yeah.
and Humans, duh. And all the Netflix stuff now. But I think a lot of that was Netflix though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I don't think any of that was Marvel because you look at like Runaways and you look at Cloak and Dagger and you look at, and it's just kind of like, ugh.
They might have been rubber stamping those over there, but that was
they
not-
weren't.
That had such a feel of its own.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it was definitely a tribute to the movies, and because they never referenced the TV shows,
Yeah,
the other
Yeah,
TV shows that were out there, but they
referenced the incident. That's what they called it. Was the incident?
They never
the
even
first
really
couple,
said the names
first couple
that
episodes,
often.
they were a little bit more on the nose with it.
Yeah.
In both Daredevil and Jessica Jones, because they talked about
And they talked about it a lot in the Defenders.
yeah.
When they did the Defenders miniseries, they talked about it a lot there.
Because I remember first couple episodes of Daredevil being concerned that, okay, are you going to remind me every episode that you're set in the same universe as the Avengers? Because if so, I'm out. And I would have walked away from it. As much as I was liking the show, it just aggravated me that I'm like, oh my god, I know what universe you're in. Just get on with it. And they did. And shortly after that, they kind of like put the divider there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know, we're not gonna have to worry about that
Never
anymore
hear it again.
anyway.
Nope,
So
never happened.
I'm okay.
Never happened. Yeah, I don't think Miss Marvel is
She
what
fits
they're
more
looking
the
for.
PG-13 Disney Plus feel.
Well, so does Spider-Man, but I don't believe that character is your quote-unquote Spider-Man. I
No,
really
it'll
don't.
never be Spider-Man.
Oh.
Nothing besides Spider-Man will ever be Spider-Man. And as far as, well, I hope that it's a good show, Miss Marvel.
I want her to be her own thing, though.
Let her be her own thing. In the toy store, we've got Miss Marvel Pops. We've got Miss Marvel, Marvel Legends. And I can tell you, they're both peg warmers. They don't. They're not breaking down the doors, coming in. Hey, where's your Miss Marvel stuff?
Yeah.
And she's a great character. I don't want, because I like her as a character. I like her origins. I like even what the comics are doing with her, as far as like with a lot of the younger heroes. I want her to be her own thing.
She's a niche character, though.
She's a
I
niche.
think what I'm worried about is they're going to try to tie her too close to Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
which is already a divisive
Yep.
portrayal of that character. Brie Larson herself is a very divisive individual, and I think there's going to be some issues if they try to tie that character too much into Captain Marvel. Now, I know there's a lot of connection there in the comics, right? Because Miss Marvel takes her name because she's a huge Captain Marvel fan.
Right.
But once again, kind of like a She-Hulk thing, yes, you're based on this character, but please go your own way. Make your own path. And I hope that is what they do with that character. I honestly do think that
I
would be a
think they
great show for
will.
Disney Plus.
I think it's going to be a show for a younger audience because Miss Marvel was always really into like social media and she had a very bubbly personality, and I think she's going to be more aimed towards like early teens. I think that's the audience that they're going for with Miss Marvel. I don't think it's really going to tie into Captain Marvel too terribly much.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, but I hope not.
I have a feeling they are going to be a little political on it because of the fact she's Middle Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're gonna push that a little bit.
Pakistani American, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm all for
I
it.
can tell you they're going to be political just because it's Disney and they're moving that direction.
That is what Disney is really into. This season of Disney's existence is very political.
They're gonna push their
stops-
agenda.
until it stops making the money.
Right.
So, and as I've at least said before, and I don't know if I've ever said it on camera, but a lot of people mistake these corporations backing their play, whether it be on the right or on the left, as support for their position and whatever their quote unquote agenda is. Until it stops making Disney money, Disney will be your best friend.
Or gets
until
in the
you-
way of them making money.
Until it gets in the way of them making money, or they stop making money because of it, then Disney will flip on you, or any corporation will flip on you, because corporations aren't in business to push social agendas. Corporations are in business to make money. They don't care about Disney does not care one bit about any social agenda, whether it's progressive or whether it's conservative. Disney doesn't care. Disney's like, who's spending the money right now? Who can get me these best trending hashtags? Who can get me these people trending butts in seats for these films so I can push this out there and make this money? And as soon as they don't make the money, they're like, oh, we need to back this up. And let's see who's spending money now. Conservatives are spending money now. And then they'll turn it around. They don't care about you. They care about your money.
Well, being an
I don't
actor,
understand why people
you
don't
can
understand this.
you can cast me in any of your your
He's like-
Freeform, your Hulu's, your Netflixes, your movies. I'll take it all. I'll be
It's like, I don't
whatever.
care. I'll do
John
it.
Ashley owns you.
I'll do
You
it
can find my
all.
website. We'll just put it down
Here's my
below.
headshot.
Just saying.
Look at that trusting face.
Yeah.
That trusting face.
Cast this man.
Sell that man your demo. Look at him.
Yeah.
That man wants to buy your demo right there. That's what he does. See? Look at him.
Oh man. Kit Harington.
Kit Harington was signed on, as going to be the Black Knight in the Eternals, which will be interesting because Black Knight wasn't traditionally with the Eternals, so this will be very interesting. And Eternals is going to be, I don't know. Eternals is a hard sell for me because even in comicdom, Eternals is very esoteric.
I had never heard of the Eternals.
You could read comics your entire life and never have heard of the Eternals. It's just not that property. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're basically.
I really feel like season 5 or not phase 5 of
4.
Disney.
This is 4.
4. Phase 4 of Disney. They're just really testing the waters to see what they can get away with.
Yeah,
Like,
That's why there wasn't a whole lot announced for Phase 4. Phase 4 is going to be the shortest phase, and then Phase 5 is
it's funny because they've already started announcing movies for
Yeah.
Phase 5.
Yeah.
but
Like
there's
Black Panther 2 and
Right.
Captain Marvel 2.
And
Like
Blade.
all the
And
sequels.
Spider-Man 3?
Yeah, all the sequels. No.
But there's really a lot of stuff out. Like Miss Marvel isn't really that well known. She-Hulk is known, but she's not really that popular of a character. Eternals is not known by anybody. They're putting a lot of stuff out there that's kind of fringe Marvel to be like, I wonder if we can get away with this.
But I think that's why they're spending so much money on that cast. Look at the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, that cast is just like, that's a lot of money wrapped up in salaries.
Yeah.
Anytime Angelina Jolie just walks in a room, that's like a couple $1 million right there just for her to walk through the door, look around, and then leave. That's like
and the
$5
insurance
million.
that you got to pay to cover Crazy.
Wow.
Come on, everybody knows she's crazy.
I didn't say it. I mean, I don't know if she's Mariah Carey crazy, but
I don't think she's Mariah Carey crazy.
Again,
Seriously?
but Angelina Jolie, if
I
you
think
want to
it is.
cast me in any of your movies or anything like that, I think you're
wow.
the
Here,
same
you
woman
know
in
what?
the
Let me
world.
take a drink for you because that's just thirsty.
I'm very-
Just thirsty.
I'm thirsty as a mother.
Wow.
That's funny.
But I mean, you have Gemma Chan, you got Kit Harington, you got Benedict.
Why don't you
not
monologue
Benedict
for them
Wong.
before we're done doing the episode?
Angelina Jolie is playing Athena, who basically is the inspiration for the goddess Athena. So basically, the Eternals are a race of beings created by the Celestials to protect and teach humanity, whether it be technology, farming, whatever. And
I love it.
Sounds kind of familiar to some of the things that we've talked about before offline. So the Celestials created the Eternals, and they're immortals. There's Cersei, and there's one called Makari, who's
Icarus.
the inspiration for Mercury, Icarus, all of those different things, and they're supposedly the inspiration for all of the great myths that we have had in our history, because they're saying that it's the Eternals teaching us something. That's why we have these myths, and that's why all these myths are so similar.
They're supposed to be. There's a great podcast, Nernificent. In their past week episode, they've actually talked about their Eternals, and they're saying that they're gonna be their powers and who they are going to be dormant in the earth, and there's possibly that the snap woken those powers back in them. And so there's also a theory that they might span generations and thousands of years in the movie.
It will be interesting too because Salma Hayek is also in.
Salma Hayek?
Yeah.
She's internal already. Like, she doesn't age.
She doesn't age.
Thirsty. So yeah,
I loved her in Hitman's Bodyguard.
I still need to see that
Dude,
movie. I
yes,
know.
you do.
I know. But yeah. So we have. She's based. Oh, by the way, she's playing Zeus. So yeah, Salma Hayek is in it. She's the character's name is Zoros, who's basically Zeus. So the biggest thing for me is, how are you going to write yourself around all this stuff that's been going on, all these huge events, and they've been asleep this entire time? Really? That's the best you got? Like with Fantastic Four, right? Because we know they're working on that. They're working on X-Men. There's got to be. With Fantastic Four, I hope it's something like...
It's going to be a multiverse thing. In my
Well,
opinion.
I hope it's something like...
That's the
they
only
got
way you can-
trapped in... Let's say it was an experiment from the 60s, and they got trapped in like the negative zone, and something with the snap or whatever weakened the dimensional barriers, and then they were able to come back to the present day. That would easily explain why the Fantastic Four weren't around, but you could kind of give them a 60s kind of pastiche and, make it funny yet serious, and have
Like
a good
in Austin
time with it.
Powers?
Yes, but better. But good. not like Gold.
See, I've never watched any of those movies, so I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Watch the first two and stop. Because they're the first two are fun. The last one, Gold Member, is just anyway.
Y'all kill me for not seeing Ready Player One, and he hasn't seen any one of the 2 Austin Powers.
We're out of time.
We're out of time. Can you hit that? We were gonna talk about wrestling too, and that was their next subject, but the timer went off. So maybe we'll get to it next week. Until then, tell them F you. Poor John. He'll never get
2 years now. Maybe we'll talk about wrestling next week.
Maybe.